Okay, so our guest on today's show is a multi-talented guitarist, composer, arranger, and music educator, and one of the founding members of Grammy Award-winning group Snarky Puppy. We are super stoked to have the great Bob Lanzetti on with us. Bob, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Doing well. Very excited to have you on the show with us today.
Me too.
Yeah, so we were talking earlier, like we've kind of had a chance to hang out with all the Snarky guys now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
all the guys
sure.
that matter, the guitar players.
There you go.
It's the most important ones.
Yeah.
The most, not the other guys don't matter, but it's like they don't matter as much.
We can relate to your gear.
It's a sliding scale
Yeah.
of importance.
There you go.
Yeah.
So first question for you. So I really want to get into your background. We want to find out young Bob Lanzetti. First question. This is just completely unrelated to music, but like at what point in your childhood do you become a Bob? Are you a Bob as a child, or how does that happen?
I was a Bobby when I was a child. I guess my friends called me Bobby as well. I don't ever remember actually, but I would guess maybe early high school or like 8th grade or something. People started calling me Bob, and my mom called me Bobby until basically recently.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's the way.
Well, so like I said, we would love to hear your origin story. We're the Tone Nerds. We kind of have the comic book motif.
Okay.
happening. So what's Bob Lanzetti's origin story with music?
Yeah, well, my dad actually plays guitar, so that's obviously how I got into it in the first place. He was kind of like semi-professional. It was kind of like a side job for him when I was growing up. But there was always musicians around the house and like tons of instruments, and he had friends that played drums, so I would go bang on the drums if we went over there. It was great. And so when I was about 12, I got really into the Beatles just by checking out my dad's record collections. And there was just, like I said, there was guitars laying around. So I just he had a Beatles chord book, and I started trying to kind of like figure out these Beatles songs out of this book.
Nice.
And that's kind of what started it. And then he asked me if I wanted to play with his band after like a year or so. So the thought of playing with a band never even entered my mind. I didn't think that was ever possible.
Yeah.
So I was like, play with a band? Are you serious?
So far away.
So,
No way.
yeah. So once I started doing that, I was like totally hooked. I mean, that was it, really. Like I was kind of like playing it, and then I was sort of like getting back into Nintendo again and like not playing as much guitar. But when he floated the idea of me playing with his band, I was locked in from that moment on.
How old were you at that time?
Yeah.
I was probably about 13 or 14, I guess, when I started kind of playing with him more.
Okay, and you were actually playing out.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time we were just playing like rehearsing. It was more just like for fun.
What kind of music were you playing back then? Was it like Beatles, like pop kind of stuff?
Yeah, it was just all like classic rock. It was kind of a wide range of things because everyone in the band would just throw in songs that they happened to like. So it was kind of a wide range. It was some like more top 40 stuff, or like at the time we played tons of like Zeppelin tunes, and I think we played Alice Cooper songs. It was kind of like everything from like 50s rock to like pretty much hard rock and some grunge and everything in between, really.
That's amazing. That's great for learning to play and like all those different sounds and all the different.
Yeah, it was incredible. I learned so much with them.
Now, what was kind of your main means of learning this stuff? Like, were you in lessons? Were you just kind of picking up like from books, or was it just kind of listening to records and playing by ear? What was kind of like your?
It was mostly listening to records. I had a couple books here and there, and my dad would show me things here and there. But I think it was smart of him to sort of not just show me the songs. Like he wanted me to try to like develop my ear. So I would just spend a lot of time just like trying to pick out riffs and chords with my ears. And then sometimes I would like I remember like trying to learn some Deep Purple song and not being able to hear it all. And then I would just eventually put it away. And then like 6 months later or something, I would try it again and it would click and I would be able to hear it. And I was like, oh, that's what it is, you know? So it was like, you know, being able to like see myself developing was inspiring.
And so what, like, here's a fun question I always like to ask, and we ask Chris and we ask Mark as well. So if you had to kind of list your Mount Rushmore of guitar players or influences growing up, kind of top 5 just most influential either groups or guitar players or artists.
That's a great question. I think I could narrow it down to 5. Up to a certain year at least. I think I could say the Beatles, Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and then when I started getting like more into like guitar virtuosos, it would have been Van Halen and Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Nice. Okay.
I think those would have been the big 5 for me.
Now you went to UNT for jazz, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what kind of got you from this jump from like these grunge and like kind of classic rock stuff to saying, "Oh, I want to do jazz"?
Well, and not only that, Bob, but like geographically, you're growing up on the Jersey Shore, playing in New York, and now we're going to Denton, Texas. Tell us about that.
When I was about 16, I met a guy named Chris Bono. He was we happened to grow up in the same town. He's maybe 10, 15 years older than me. And he was like the guy around. So when I met him and I started getting lessons with him, and that really changed everything for me. But I mean, before that, I didn't even really know what being a professional musician meant. You know, I thought it was like, well, you're going to be Jimmy Page or you're going to just have a regular job. You know,
Right.
I didn't know that like there's so many people that are working musicians that aren't Jimmy Page that are just making a living playing music. So he kind of like is the one who like really made me realize that was a thing. So I wanted to go to William Patterson or Rutgers, just because I mean they had good programs, but I didn't get in. I think one of them accepted 0 guitar players one year.
Wow.
and the other one maybe accepted 1. So they're very hard to get into.
Yeah.
So I also applied to North Texas and I got in there. So I was like, well, I guess I'm going to go there.
There you go.
But in hindsight, I'm so glad I did, because if I didn't, I would have grown up in New Jersey, went to school in New Jersey, and then moved to New York. So it was nice to go and get a totally different culture.
Yeah. Talk about the differences in the musical culture between where you were at and Denton, or I guess it was Fort Worth.
I mean, the scene in Dallas was so foreign to what I had grown up around. You know, it was like much more rooted in gospel, and a lot of people who, when they weren't playing in church, were playing R&B gigs, and you know, playing with Erykah Badu and Roy Hargrove, and you know, so when I started getting into that music, and started meeting some of those people and playing with them, it blew my mind open. You know, it was amazing. And then, of course, you know, all the Snarky Puppy people met there too. So, you know, that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't moved there either. So, so it was great to get into that scene. Speaking
of Snarky Puppy, how did you guys find each other? What did that look like? Who was the first one you met? Like, how did that come about? Was it a casual thing first, and it was like, hey, let's build something from this, or were you recruited specifically for that group?
Yeah, it was. I think it was very casual in the beginning. I guess you'd have to ask Mike what his intentions were at first, but it felt very casual to me. I mean, I knew Maz, the trumpet player, Maz Meyer. He was one of the first people I met when I moved there. So we were really good friends and played together in other groups and lived together. We were roommates together for years. Mike is a few years younger than us, so when he came, we met and we hit it off and played together all the time. We were good friends and played together in lots of other groups. We played blues gigs, we played in school together, we played jazz gigs, you know, all kinds of stuff. And then when he wanted to start the band, he just sort of got his friends that he enjoyed playing with. So to me, it was just kind of like, oh yeah, Mike's making a record, and a solo record, and it has a band name, but it's really just it's just his album. And then we recorded it. And then right after we recorded it, I moved to New York, actually. I didn't think anything of it. But then he called me like a year later or something to make another one. And I was like, really? We're going to do this again?
Nice.
Then I kind of started to realize that, oh, this is like really a thing that he's trying to really do. So that's cool.
But now, were you guys Snarky Puppy from the beginning, or how did that name
Yeah.
come about?
Well, the name is just like a name that his brother is also a musician, and it was a name that he threw out for a band that he was forming that they didn't use. So Mike just like said, "Can I use that name?" And he said, "Yeah."
Nice.
So I have no idea where Patrick came up with that name.
Okay, so the mystery continues.
I know. I was hoping to get to the bottom of this. That's the only reason we had you on, Bob.
I would be curious to know myself, actually.
Seeking out the mystery of Snarky Puppy.
The mystery is deep. It goes even one layer deeper than we thought.
There you go.
Yeah. Were there any other names on the table before you guys landed on Snarky Puppy?
I don't think so.
That was it.
I think
It was just from the it was just meant to be.
I don't even remember the conversation, but Mike just said, "Yeah, it's Snarky Puppy," and I was like, "Oh, that's a weird name."
Nice. There you go.
Well, whatever. I'm just glad to be making another record.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm just happy to be playing guitar.
All right.
Nice.
So you grew up on the Jersey Shore. You played in New York City. You moved to Denton in 2000, studied jazz. But then, like you said, you moved back to New York. And you're working at that time. What does that dynamic look like? I mean, you got basically on two separate sides of the country, trying to you work this thing out. How does that creative process work? How do the logistics work with that?
Honestly, it probably wouldn't have happened if Mike hadn't if he hadn't been willing to sacrifice financially as much as he was, then it probably wouldn't happen. He would hit me up and buy me a flight, so I would go. And if he just decided to use more local people, then who knows if it would have continued for me. But we would get together now we're probably talking like 2007, 2008. We had a couple records and then he would hit me up to do a tour. We'd go out for like 5 weeks or so. Then I would go home and I probably wouldn't see any of them until like 6 months later or something. We'd go do another tour.
Gotcha.
And some of the people lived in New York, so I would see them, but
right.
But the guys who lived in Texas at that time, most people lived in Texas still. So I wouldn't see them until we played again.
Was there a moment in time where you're like, okay, I think we've kind of,
struck gold.
Made it.
Yeah. When did it go from feeling like you're hanging with your friends to, oh, this is something for real?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was probably a few big moments, but I would say, generally speaking, it always seemed like it was getting a little bit better, like the crowds were getting a little bit bigger. The accommodations were getting a little bit better. It was very minor growth each tour or whatever.
Yeah.
But we all, besides the fact that it was growing a little bit, we all also really loved the music and loved playing together, and we got along personally too. So that kind of propelled us for a long time. But I would say that like when things seemed to really have a big jump was probably after we started making the videos. Probably after Tell Your Friends is when that was like a big boost, because there wasn't that much stuff on YouTube then.
When was that approximately?
probably 2008 or 2009, something like that. I mean, yeah, it wasn't oversaturated. There wasn't even a lot of bands that had like high quality video in the studio there, so I think because there wasn't a lot of competition at the time, that really helped us.
Yeah.
That was like a big thing. And then when we first went to Europe, there was like the crowds were so much bigger and so much more enthusiastic.
Interesting.
That's very interesting. I've heard that from several bands that have gone to Europe.
Yeah.
It's just a totally different experience. I don't know if that's a culture thing or is it just the fact that, hey, there's this band from overseas that I'm actually getting
I
to
don't
see
know.
in person. That's
it's
a
a
crazy
good
dynamic.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I know you hear about like British bands coming to the U.S. and having the same experience. So maybe it has something to do with it feeling foreign. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like we were like, wow, this people like us here. So
There you go.
then we started going to Europe more. I remember actually the first time we went to Europe, we played like I don't know if it was sold out, but it was a lot of people, probably more than we've ever played before. And then we went back to the U.S. and played in like Arizona or something, and there was like 7 people there.
That's
We're
I'm
like,
moving to Europe.
Yeah, I'm going back to the UK.
We're like, wow, this is a reality check.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
Keep you humble, man. Keep you humble.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of humble, I haven't gotten any of you guys to talk about like that first Grammy yet. Like, was that something you guys saw coming down the pipeline? Was it just like something that caught you guys by surprise, or?
It was definitely shocking. It wasn't. I don't think it was a goal of ours because I don't even think it was on anyone's radar that it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was an instrumental jazz fusion band, basically.
Right.
I don't think any of us thought about something like that. I mean, but that being said, like Spud, our drummer at the time, had Grammys, and Sean Martin had Grammys. So it was definitely something that was in our sphere, but I don't think we ever thought that we would get one. Mm-hmm. But then when we got nominated, that was amazing in itself, and just going there was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And we all just expected to lose. And then when we won, it was just like, it was really shocking. That was a special moment to feel, just getting the props from the biggest music celebration in the country.
Right. Yeah.
It was exciting and a special thing for sure.
Yeah, that's very cool. There's got to be some level of like validation in that. Like,
yeah,
like I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my parents stopped saying, "You got to get a real job."
Yeah, there you go.
Finally shut them up.
There you go.
Yeah, people started family and stuff started realizing, oh, maybe this is working out.
Yeah, Bob's actually not too bad.
Yeah, he's doing all right. Listen, I would have put it up on like the mantle. It would have been like the front door entrance. And
every
like,
family get together. I'm just bringing it with me. I got my pan of casserole and a Grammy on top of that.
Hang it on a chain like I'm a Flavor Flav.
Yeah,
just show up to the family.
That's good. I should start doing that.
There you
go. You
go.
got a big time on. So so we got the Snarky stuff going. Now I assume through all this you kind of have some other projects, some other hustles going on. Tell me a little bit about that. Like when you're not recording with Snarky, touring with Snarky, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, so those first years in New York, it was just like really just trying to make a living. It was, it's hard and it's expensive. So I was working at the MoMA design store for a little while. And but then I started teaching a lot, and then I was teaching like 6 days a week.
Oh wow.
I was getting burned out on that. And then I was doing weddings, so then I wasn't teaching as much, so things started to get better. I had more time. But anyway, that's just like making a living stuff. Besides that, I mean, at that time I was playing in this sort of like indie rock band. I was writing my own music as well, and just playing with people in the scene in New York. That was all good. I started playing with, Banda Magda. So, it was just kind of like a lot of projects that were kind of, some of them were in the Snarky orbit, and some of them were kind of like off to left field a little bit.
Yeah.
Things that I was just kind of into on my own. But there was always kind of other things going on while the band was not busy.
It seems like several of the guys in the band, that seems to be like the experience. Like, number one, just having a lot of side projects going on, different quartets and trios, and working with other artists and things like that. But also, like, I think a common thread with all those is just this really curious nature of like what you guys are doing and going out and finding these world artists and finding these people that are in these lanes that maybe nobody else are really running in, and creating like music with them. I think that's really cool.
I think everyone is just into a lot of different kinds of stuff. you know. So trying to explore as much as possible was just really fun. There was a time when Snarky was really busy, and then I remember when I was in New York at those times, it felt like just being on vacation.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing that much for a couple years in New York, maybe a few things here and there. But then when things started to ease up, then I mean, I got even more so just really into doing as many different things as I can.
Speaking on that, like, world music and some of these other projects you've been working on, tell me about, correct me if I'm saying this wrong, but is it Bocante? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, that was Mike League's project.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's his band. Well, him and Malika Tyrolean, it's really kind of their band. She's a great vocalist and songwriter, composer from Canada. She's from Guadeloupe originally, but she lives in Montreal. I think Mike probably had the idea from a long time ago to maybe try and do something with her.
Yeah.
So he put that band together. It's like 3 guitars, 3 percussionists, bass, lap steel guitar. Yeah, we've done 3 records, and we did a bunch of touring. We haven't done anything recently, but it's a fun band when we do get together. It's really cool. It's definitely influenced by a lot of West African, and I think it's kind of I think it's largely influenced by Led Zeppelin too. I mean, a lot of it's kind of like Zeppelin 3.
That's a pretty cool combination.
Those Zeppelin roots are coming back to serve you well, man.
Everything comes back around.
That's right.
I mean, all of us grew up with that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Can't get away from it.
I'm curious about some of your teaching stuff. Do we have time for that? Real
Absolutely,
quick
yeah.
we get into
We
the
can
gear?
do that. Yep.
Yeah, so because I saw that you're teaching, I teach lessons here in kind of Mansfield, DFW area, and so I was one kind of question I always like to ask guitar teachers is like, what is that one kind of either practice routine or exercise that you always love passing on to your students? That's like that must have Bob Lanzetti secret sauce.
One thing that kind of jumps out at me off the top of my head, that I always like to show people, is sort of like with improvising. Like a lot of times as guitar players, we learn like a scale, and which is just like a pattern, and then we just kind of use that scale to solo, right?
Yeah.
And you can kind of just take these notes and do anything you want with them, and it'll sound like music, you know? Yeah. But what I kind of started to try and get into with some students was just like, instead of using a scale as your jumping off point, maybe just use like a melodic phrase. And in that melodic phrase, there might be a rhythm and a series of notes. And then you take that and try and just use like theme and variations to sort of improvise with it, because a scale isn't really musical by itself, you know?
Right.
But this little musical idea or like a motif may be musical by itself, or can be musical by itself. So then if you take that, then you're kind of already making music right away. And you just sort of like, you know, work on playing what you hear within that phrase. And then the next, maybe if you're playing like a blues or something, then in the next chorus, maybe you use a different phrase. Yeah. So it kind of seemed like maybe it's an interesting way to sort of start getting in on improvising.
Yeah, that's real good, because I feel like most of my students, like, you show them the scale, and then their next question is like, cool, but like, how do I make it sound cool? And then I'm like, okay, now I gotta give you ideas, you know? And it all comes back to that like musical phrasing. It's a really
it seems to help, and I think it's a way to get to the music quicker, you know, more quickly.
Great.
Let's talk about gear, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that gear. Yeah. Yes. So, you know, and when I say gear, I'm thinking like guitars, amps, pedals. So, let's just start. Let's just talk down your signal chain, starting with a guitar to your pedal board to your amp. So we'll start with the guitar. Okay. Now you have a signature guitar with Fodera. Is that the name of the company?
Yeah.
Fodera. Yeah. Okay. So you have a signature guitar, and you've had this signature guitar for 7 or 8 years, right?
Yeah, it's been a while now. When maybe 2018 or so.
Okay.
I got it.
All right.
Something like that.
Very important question for you. Were you the first guitarist of Snarky Puppy to have your own signature guitar?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
I think Mark did. I don't actually remember though.
I know Mark has a Fiore. Did he have one before that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was really hoping for you to have bragging rights, but yes, I was.
If maybe I do, and I don't even realize.
We'll fact check it. We'll go back and we'll look at the release dates and we'll put it up on in the episode.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this for you, Bob.
One of you guys is gonna get the bragging rights.
That's right.
All right, thanks.
So you have a Fodera signature guitar.
Yeah.
What were you playing before that? And then tell me about how that that relationship kind of worked out with that.
Yeah. I had I still have a Tokai Strat.
Okay.
Which I really like. I still use it occasionally. It's like an 82 Tokai. And I have actually a Vega Trem system on it now. Do you guys familiar with that?
I'm not familiar with the Vega Trem.
It's like a Spanish company, but it's awesome. You can do anything and it stays in tune.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah. It's great. But that's kind of a more recent addition to it. But that's a great guitar. And then so Fodera contacted me about wanting to build a guitar for me, and so we talked back and forth a bit, and I was super into it. But I was like, if probably will need to be sort of Strat-ish if I'm gonna use it all the time, because that's kind of what I like. So they kind of modeled it after my Tokai, actually.
Awesome.
So the body doesn't look like a Strat. It's like their own design, really. But it's the same wood as my Tokai. It's even the same fret spacing. It's the same pickups.
The Fralins, right? You're a big special
Fralin
guy.
pickups. Yeah. So it's cool. It's kind of like the Tokai but better.
I did notice on that Fodera the pickup orientation is a little bit unique. So you have the angled middle pickup instead of the bridge pickup. Was that part of like your input into the design, or is that like where did that come from?
That was kind of just their thing, actually.
Okay.
I didn't really have anything to do about that or to do with that.
One
thing that guitar has that is really cool though is it has a split blade in the bridge pickup.
I don't know about split blades. I mean, I know about blade pickups like Firebird pickups or blade pickups. But
basically, the point of this is that it basically is a humbucker, but it sounds like a single coil. And the reason it sounds like a single coil is because one coil is doing this and one coil is doing that. So it's two coils, but they're not on top of each other.
Oh,
so it cancels out the hum like a humbucker does. But it sounds like a single coil.
Sounds like a single.
That's fascinating. Why do more companies not take advantage of that kind of?
I don't know. It's super cool.
Yeah.
But the weird thing about it though is that they said they can't do it in the neck or the middle, because when you bend notes, the string will move too high and there'll be like a dead spot.
Oh,
interesting.
Okay. Yeah, that is interesting.
But in the bridge, it's you're never bending hard enough for the string to move that much all the way over there.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not really a problem there.
Yeah.
But it's great though, because even if it's in a noisy place, if I use that pickup, it's quiet.
And I noticed it has a kill switch and a three-way pickup switch on there, so you can engage all three pickups at once. Like, is it more a logistical thing, or is it like a?
At this point, it's more like logistical. At first, I wasn't used to it. I didn't know what to do with it, but now I kind of I'm always flipping it on and off.
Gotcha. It's not like a Tom Morello situation or anything.
Yeah, well, I have done that too, actually, because you can just do this and it just stutters,
That is killer.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it seems like a really cool guitar. I watched your Reverb video.
Oh yeah,
just kind of giving the recap on it. It was very cool. Sounds great. I mean.
Yeah, I like it. It's
sometimes
nice.
it's one of those things, though. Is it the guitar or is it Bob? What's making it sound?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I never listened to any videos. Well, no, I did see one other video of you playing a different guitar. You're playing a white Strat.
Yeah, that was the Tokai.
That was the Tokai. Okay, gotcha. I couldn't see the headstock Well enough to see
It
what
looks
was.
like it says Fender, but it doesn't.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So I can say I've heard you play more than just the
Snarky
Fulgura
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and you sound good on both of them. So
Thanks.
now when you tour, do you just bring the Tokai as your backup, or do you have like multiple Fulguras, or how?
No, I only bring that. I would like to start bringing the Tokai too, though, mostly because of that whammy bar. But
Yeah.
I probably will, like if we do like a U.S. thing where we're on a bus. But to fly with both is the pain.
I can't remember if we talked to McQueen about this or not, about baritones. Now, do you ever play baritones or venture off into anything like that? Or do you keep...
Once in a while, I definitely do on recordings. I don't do it as often live, but I actually just bought, like, just a couple weeks ago, I bought a bass 6.
Okay, yeah.
Which I was producing this record for this artist that's kind of sort of like an Americana folk thing, and I wanted to use do the tic tac bass stuff with the bass 6. So I said, well, I wanted one for a long time anyway, so I'm just going to buy it and I can use it for this session.
There you go.
So I'm looking forward to get into it more and messing with it, but it's super cool. It's such a cool instrument.
All right, well, let's talk about we've talked about guitars, Ruben.
We going pedalboard?
Let's go pedalboard.
Let's talk.
Let's talk some pedalboard.
What's on
Pedal
your
action.
board?
We've been looking at pictures. We've been sneaking,
Okay.
snooping your board online. At least the most recent one I saw from was like 2 years ago.
Okay.
So I'd be curious to know like what has changed on there since then.
Yeah. Well, I've been so I got a Boss vibrato pedal.
Yep, the Wazacraft.
Yeah, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I got it just for one recording session, and then I started getting more and more into it, and now I almost leave it on all the time. So I love it. It's super cool. It's like such a unique sound.
Yeah, it's a very cool pedal.
So that's in there. So so overdrives. Let's see. I have the ZVEX Box of Rock.
Oh, you have a box of rock too. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I saw
McQueen
the
has
Fuzz
that too, I
Factory.
think, right?
Yeah, I saw the Fuzz Factory on your board, and I saw the instant lo-fi junkie.
Yeah, I got the Lo-Fi Junkie. I love ZVEX stuff. They're super cool.
Cool.
I got the Box of Rock. I got the Fuzz Factory, which is like one of the coolest pedals in the world.
Yeah, man, those sounds that you're making on that were pretty rad. There's that that rig rundown video I watched. It's like, oh, I need a Fuzz Factory now.
They're so cool.
Yeah,
They're so cool.
Yeah.
I have a J-Rocket Audio Archer, which I think McQueen also uses that as well.
Yep. Always on.
Yeah, always on. I have one of those wing nut things on the drive.
Yeah.
So you can just turn the drive.
Yeah,
up.
that's cool,
I know, man. I saw you with
was
those.
telling us about that too.
Yeah, that's his invention, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. We met a guy at NAMM who was selling them or had them with him.
Maybe McQueen overstated that. I'll have to go back and watch that.
No, yeah, I think he was telling us. He was telling us
video.
about it. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
he's. I think
you're right.
Yeah.
McQueen was the first one that I ever knew to use them.
But those
I thought
are
it was
cool.
kind of silly at first, but then when I tried it, I was like, "This is amazing."
Yeah, they do look ridiculous, but dude, like watching
super practical.
I know watching you
Super
like
practical.
watching some videos of you and then some other ones of McQueen. Just how easy you can move those knobs. It's like
Yeah, I would. I don't even know what I would do without it now. I have them on so many of my pedals now.
Michael was kind of looking at me as you were talking because I sold my Archer a while back. And both you and McQueen used it. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, it's a cool pedal. I mean, I like
it's,
them.
Yeah, it's a great pedal.
Yeah. What else is on there? I got a Goodrich volume pedal, which is cool. It's really a really smooth volume pedal. But it came recommended to me by some pedal steel players, and like the volume pedal is such a essential part of their sound.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think pedal steel players are to be trusted with volume pedals. So
Totally. Now, is that an active volume pedal or is it passive?
it's passive.
Oh, really? Okay, nice. People sometimes don't put a lot of thought into volume pedals. It's like, oh, they just, they just do the thing. But man, there's a big difference in volume.
Yeah.
pedal. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
after
absolutely.
playing through several different ones through the years, I landed on like a Lille. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Yeah, that's how I was.
But it's active, which is kind of a drawback. But yeah, the Goodrich one, I've heard really good things about that one.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, sweep is important and durability too. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, they go through so much, just constantly
Yeah.
tilting back and forth, and I've never had volume pedals go out on me and just leave me with my volume off.
Yeah.
In the middle of a song.
Yeah, you don't want that. But that's a cool. It's a nice addition. There's also I just started using Jam Pedals Rattler not too long ago, which I really like too. I didn't really have like a distortion pedal, which is kind of just overdrives or fuzzes. So that's kind of like my distortion pedal now.
I've never really found we were talking about this just the other day. Like, I've never really found. I mean, I like Rats. I should qualify that. I do like Rats, but other than Rats, I've just never really found a distortion pedal that I'm really into. You know, it's like
have you checked out the Rattler? Because I think it's sort of I think it's sort of actually like a souped up Rat, basically.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out then.
They're kind of in a similar wheelhouse, but
cool.
They're cool.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the overdrive fuzz stuff. And then I have like an Empress Tremolo.
Yep, I saw that one. I saw several clips of you playing that one and getting some really rad sounds out of it.
Yeah, that thing's fun too. I like pedals where you can get like a good passable normal sound that you would use on like a country record or something.
Yeah.
And then but you can also do wild, crazy stuff with it that is like totally avant-garde.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to get both options, you know, if you can find pedals that can do both well.
Totally. Yeah.
And that one, I think you can kind of do, it can kind of just sound like a Fender tremolo, blackface tremolo or something, but then it can also do wild stuff. Well, they have like this rhythm thing too, so you can do like a regular tremolo that's just even, but then you can also do like patterns, like things like that.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah, very cool.
And there's like a whole range of different patterns you can do. So that's kind of an interesting thing. And then if you turn it all the way up, it just could be really fast.
Now you have some delay reverb, like some wet effects too. What are you running these days?
Yeah, I got the Strymon Blue Sky that I've had for a long time, and
You're one of us.
yeah, yeah, they're awesome. They're awesome. Yeah. And I also have Source Audio Nemesis.
Okay.
Which
I've
is
heard really
that's
good things
the
about that one.
Yeah.
It's great. It's delay, and it has like all different kinds of delays, like reverse, digital, analog, and a whole bunch of other things too. Tape.
Yeah.
And I usually leave that set on analog, and then I have a Boss DD6 that's my digital, and then I'll have the other one set on analog most of the time.
Yeah.
I like those DD6s because you can almost make loops of them if you go really slow.
Yeah.
It can be really, really long, you know? So a lot of times I'll do like really crazy stuff with those two together.
Now, typically, how are you running your delay? Is it something that like you're tapping into a BPM, or are you just kind of setting a type of delay that you like?
Yeah, it's I'd almost never do it with BPMs. I don't know. There's no reason why. I just never have gotten into doing it really. I used to kind of leave it on a lot of the times, I think, but lately I've been using it less and less. Lately I've been using it more like an effect, and rather than like a bass line, like bass BASE baseline sound.
Right.
Yeah.
Now it's more just kind of more like an effect now. A lot of times I'll even use a really short, like almost like slap kind of delay.
Yep.
So I'm constantly turning it on and off and adjusting the speed and the level of it, like many, many times within one song even.
Are you doing that? Do you have like a tap button associated with it, or is that you're just doing it manually by hand?
I'm just doing it by hand, but I have those wing nuts on them.
Oh, you have the wing nuts on those as well.
So yeah, on the level, on the level and on the time.
Well, cool. Last thing on gear, and then we're gonna bring it home. And that is amp. What are you guys typically running, like backline, or do you have like?
Do you have some
strong opinions on amps?
Are you running modelers?
Yes. No modelers. Well, when we make records, we've been using Kempers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and usually, I think the last two records, I found like a Bandmaster sound that I thought was cool on there that I used. But yeah, not usually unless we're doing that. If I used modelers, usually when we play live, it's just backline. So a lot of times we'll use Fender hot rods because they're everywhere and they're relatively reliable. So it works. But I have Victoria, like the Tweed Deluxe Victoria model. That I'll use most of the time. It's light and it sounds great. It was when I was living in New York, it was great because it was like easy to take around.
Yeah. That's how you get long in the tooth, Bob, is when it's like, I love this amp. It's light. It's like, no, it doesn't hurt my back.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, I used to have like a 1970 Pro Reverb that I loved.
Sick. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. And but it was too heavy for New York.
Yeah,
it was too hard it was too hard to carry around New York.
That's fair. Yeah,
Guthrie Trap is big on those. I think that's why he plays. Those are
I played with Guthrie once in Nashville, and I think he had 2 deluxes. But I know he was recently talking about this Pro Reverb that he had as well.
Yeah.
And I also have like a Fender Tweed Twin, like low power Tweed.
Okay.
That I also really love. I really like those Tweed lines.
Yeah.
But I really
it's a really crisp sound.
Yeah, I really want to get a Princeton. I just used the Princeton on the session in New York, and I've always loved Princeton's, but it kind of made me really want to get one.
Yeah,
so I might have to.
Iron one too.
That was my first amp I ever got. It was 1999.
Really?
I went to the guitar store and I bought a guitar. I had to get like a purple, like Barney purple Strat because that's the only one they had in a lefty. But they had these killer amps there, and I got a 69 drip edge silver face Princeton. It wasn't a reverb.
Wow.
I got it for $200.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm offended.
$200, man.
Yeah.
It's like, it'd be probably $2,000 now. I'm probably not that.
Yeah.
Man, they're expensive.
I might have to open my wallet and go buy one. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but
Oh, they're a killer, man. We'll keep an eye out if we see when I get to the show around down here.
Well, like a 64 blackface Princeton or something like that.
Yeah, now we're talking. Now we're
in
talking.
great condition.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes,
and I want it to be like under $1,000.
You have a lot of demands.
Hey man, you'll find it out there.
Yeah, maybe. Even
I don't know.
Sale or something.
Yeah,
I don't think I will actually, but
your amp is out there waiting for you.
You'll find some sucker out there that'll sell it to you. I'll be like, hey, I'm a Grammy Award-winning artist, and I'm willing to play your amp.
There you go.
I'll put it on a record, I promise.
Yeah, right. There you go. I'll give you a shout out in the liner notes, whatever that's worth anymore. So I saw when we were looking into some of the projects you've done, you composed the score for the 1922 version of Nosferatu, the silent film. That's awesome, dude. Tell me about that project.
Yeah, well, that was a project through Ground Up, our Snarky Puppy's record label, and Alamo Drafthouse, awesome movie theater. Mike League's cousin, Tim League, is the founder of Alamo Drafthouse. That was the connection.
That's a cool fact.
So there was like just this series they wanted to do that was different artists from ground up writing music for different silent films. So I got to choose Nosferatu, and it was great. I got to have I basically had complete creative control over whatever I wanted to do. So I was like a big lover of classical music and 20th century classical music. So I was like, I want to just do some really out guitar stuff, but then I also want to do like something with like a choir, and I want to do like, string quartet stuff and like, weird tape kind of sounds and things like that. I wanted to kind of go all out and do as much as I possibly could,
Yeah.
But I learned so much, and it was such a fun project, and it was during COVID, so I had so much free time.
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't have been able to get so deep into it if it hadn't been the right time. Because I had all day, every day at home doing nothing else.
Right. Yeah. Now, did you select? Did they give you the flexibility to select which movie you wanted, or were they like, here's a few options of movies?
There was, I think there was like a lot of options. I do remember them having like a list, but it was quite extensive.
Gotcha.
And so, I was able to I was glad I grabbed it before anyone else did, because, I think there was about 5 different artists from growing up that did different movies.
Oh, nice. Okay. Now, is there a place where you can watch that now? Like, watch that movie with your score to it?
Yeah, I think I would, it's funny. So I was just, someone was just asking me about this, and I was looking for it myself. I think you can get it on Apple TV.
Okay.
And I assume that there's places other than that you can get it as well.
I'll check that out. What we'll do, we can just drop that like in the show description notes if people want to check that out. But I would love to watch the whole thing through. That'd be really
that'd be
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, please check it out. Yeah, it was cool. And if you could share it, that would be awesome.
Yeah, totally will. Yeah, that's awesome, man. All right, Bob. Well, appreciate the time today. Where can we find you online? Where can we find your information? Social, internet, so forth.
Upcoming.
Yeah,
things like that.
I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and all that. My website is just boblanzetti.com. So that's easy to find. And you can find links to Spotify and Apple Music and all that stuff up there. I also have a trio, like a relatively new trio with Keita Ogawa and Zach Brock.
Yeah.
And we have our own band called Brock Lanzetti Ogawa. It's just our name.
Yep.
BrockLanzettiOgawa.com is our website, and we have a record up there too.
Awesome. Yeah, drawing songs, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. Got it. Are you guys touring?
We have done several tours. We're doing one show in Canada in just a couple weeks, in Quebec City.
It's a little far for us.
Yeah.
It's a little far. Yeah, a little far for you guys.
We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Just see us in the back.
If you can compass tickets, we'll see.
Yeah.
Tone Nerds take Canada.
Yeah. But there's nothing else in the books right now, but I'm sure we'll put something together soon.
Awesome. We'll be on the lookout for that, man.
Yeah.
All right, Bob. Well, thanks for the time, man. Take care.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, yes, sir. We'll see you next time.
All right, sounds good.
All right, man.
So thanks for watching another episode of Tone Nerds. We hope this was helpful, and shout out to Bob Lanzetti for his time today. We really appreciate it.
That's right. You can find Bob's information, links to all of his projects and work in the show description notes. And as always, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time.